Well, last week you conducted an interview with John Palmer. Had a great reaction from the fans and people around Cheltenham, but some people who may not have seen it, could you sort of give us a sort of brief overlay of what you said?
Yeah, I'm disappointed. It was a great reaction actually. I thought people might be disappointed, but basically I've been thinking about my position as chairman of the football club and the future and where I want to be and actually where the club needs to be, and I think now is the time for me to be looking at other things, but also I think the club needs to be looking at a restructured, energised board of directors to take the football club on to the next level. I'm being really proud of my association with the club, and I can look back and there's lots of real achievements both in terms of infrastructure, but obviously memories as well and successes, and obviously there's been some difficult times as well. But I've loved it, but it's quite energy sapping, and after 20 odd years, it will be 22 probably, it is time for some new people to take on the mantle and take the club onto what I believe can be a really exciting future. We've had a really good 20 years, but I think looking forward it can be quite exciting too, with things that potentially may be happening. So I think that's why we're looking to bring in some new directors. We've got some great directors on the board already, but if we can bring in certainly 2 more directors in the next couple of months, I think that's a real possibility. I'm talking to 2 people at the moment who will be fantastic assets for the football club. And remind me a little bit of how I felt when I first got involved with the club all those years ago. Local, passionate about my football club, and in a position to make a difference, whether that's in monetary terms or whether it's actually in what you bring to the party in terms of energy, connectivity, new ideas, and so on. So I think it's quite an exciting time because the current board is good. There's lots of skill sets on there, from the legal side to the accountancy side, and obviously the secretarial side with Paul, John with the football side. So I think where we're lacking is directors with commercial background to help generate more revenue to work with John Finnegan and Mark Cusner and drive the commercial revenue, because I think there's a lot of scope there to raise more money. And I think what we need to be doing is raising more money so we can improve the playing squad and increase the playing budget. So that's why it's a positive story, because actually I think these new people can do more and bring things to the party which I'm now starting to not able to deliver. So for me personally, it's the right time to be standing down, and I think for the club it's probably the right time too. I mean, there's never a good time, but I think the sort of timescale we're talking about, I see myself carrying on as chairman certainly for the end of this season and potentially throughout all of next season as well. But it may well be that during the course of next season there's a handover process. We do it in a timely manner, we do it in a professional manner. Nothing's going to be hurried, and the new directors will need to bed in and get to work with the existing directors, and then the board will ultimately decide who the successor will be in due course, and that successor may well be from the existing board, or it may be from some of the new directors that are appointed in that period.
Before I ask the next question, I'll just clarify that first one. It's not a great reaction that people are glad you're leaving. People are very grateful for everything you've done for the club over the last 20 years. So apologies for that miswording. You've talked about timescales there. So you will. I've seen people commenting saying, "What's going on? Is he leaving now? Is he leaving in the summer?" You said you'll be here next season, definitely in some
capacity, because obviously what I want here. Colin and I and other directors like Rod Burge, and we put a lot of time, energy, passion into our football club, and what's really important is that we don't fritter that away. So that's why it's very important that we're going to bring in good quality, high caliber directors to continue the job that we've started, if you like. So that will be a bedding in process. it's not easy appointing new directors. People think you can just pluck them out of the air, but there's quite a lot of due diligence that you have to go into, and of course they have to go into as well. I remember when I first joined the board, I took financial advice and I was told the club was insolvent. So you need to go in with your eyes open, because it's tough running a football club. It's very, very different from any other business that I've ever run or managed, and indeed new directors, it'll be very, very different for them as well in terms of cash flow and things like that. So it will be a challenge, but I think the people that I'm talking to are people that will make a difference, and I think all the directors we have, and when I came on the board, and Colin and others, we've all made a difference to our football club, and it is a very, very different animal to the animal that we loved 20 years ago. You just got to look around the stadium, you've got to look at the training facilities, and look at where we've been in terms of Wembley, etc. It's a very, very different football club. Having said that, you can't rest on your laurels. We were relegated last year, and obviously we want to maintain at all costs our Football League status, and that's been our main driver this year. We've got to be careful not to be distracted, because our main driver must be to make sure that we give Gary every single opportunity, as we did in January, to strengthen the squad, and obviously we'll be doing the same thing in June, July, when he looks to rebuild the squad for next season.
You've already mentioned that you're talking to potential candidates for directors. What's the process now? How does that work for fans who have sort of no idea what happens now?
Yeah, I mean, people don't apply for the job particularly, and obviously it's not a paid role. I think there are still people out there who think that directors have a cushy life and get paid lots of money to swan around and eat sandwiches in boardrooms. I can tell you it's nothing like that at all. It's hard work, and we give of our time and money, and we do it because we love our football club. But so basically, usually we are looking to approach people that we think would bring something to the party. In the same way that I approached John Murphy and I approached David Bloxham. That's generally speaking how it happens. So we've made I've made informal approaches to a couple of people. I've had informal meetings with them. One of them is further advanced than the other. One of them has met the board, and now we're just going through some due diligence. And the other one, it will be meeting the board next week, and I'm pretty comfortable. I'm pretty confident too that both of them will be joining our board of directors. Where are we now? Certainly, possibly by the end of the month. And because we're not rushing it. There's no need to rush it. It's important we get these decisions right. So I think by the end of the month we will certainly see one named and officially announced, and you will no doubt be interviewing him. It is a him, and then the second one will follow hopefully soon after that.
Away from the boardroom now, football side of things, it's been a much better last few weeks since we last spoke.
Yeah, no, it has taken a little bit of time, obviously, for the new players to bed in, but I think I've always said the recruitment is critical to any business, and Cheltenham Town Football Club is no different. And the reason we were successful last year was recruitment. And I think the reason that we're going to do well in the second half of the season and stay in this division is because the recruitment in January has been excellent. And that they're all playing, and they are making a difference to the team. And I think we're going to Doncaster on Saturday. I mean, if we'd been going to Doncaster 2 or 3 months ago, I probably wouldn't even been going to Doncaster, to be honest. But we go there with some expectation that we're going to put on a good showing, and we're going to give Doncaster a good game. We've kept 4 clean sheets on the bounce. I think the morale in the camp is excellent. The spirit is great, and I know from having the players in my house that there's a really good camaraderie about the squad. And actually that was the case in January too. So whilst things weren't going well, actually there was still a good spirit, and I don't think we've ever lost that spirit, which is so important. So now it's great to have a spirit plus confidence, and I think the players now are playing with spirit and confidence, and they're getting to know each other so much better. So we go there, it's a very, very tough game, and Exeter on Tuesday, equally a very, very tough game. But I think we go there with hope that we'll come back with something, and anything we bring back from those 2 games will be a bonus on paper, as long as we can get points from our home games. And it'd be just be great to get into the top half of the table. I think if we can finish in the top half of the table, that'd be a pretty mean achievement given the start we had. So we're all very positive. I'm looking forward to the trip. and fingers crossed.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Paul.
Cheers, buddy.